What's up, Mickey?
What's up?
We just finished another week of fishing here in Minnesota. Actually, we were in Wisconsin the last few days. We kind of took a break from guiding, a break from the action, and we went over to the cabin the last couple days, just decompressing. And you know what? It was pretty fun, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We chased some walleye. We did a lot of walks. We went late night, scary walks. We found frogs. You went swimming.
Yeah.
It was kind of cold. I didn't swim. But this last week here, we had all of the various ups and downs. We started the week off with the Denny's on Lake Minnetonka, and pretty much rain all day on Monday. It was not too chilly, but just rained all day. Phenomenal bags. Congratulations to the teams once again on some big bags. Figgy and Aaron got 26 plus pounds to win it. It took 22 and a quarter to cash a top 10 check. Half the teams in the field had 20 pounds. The fish were firing. Then we went to Tuesday and it got stagnant and hot and the fish didn't fire. And then Wednesday, kind of back and forth. Thursday, things picked back up. So did Friday. It was a yo-yo week, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Can you know how to use a yo-yo?
No.
How about a hula hoop?
Kind of.
You did a hula hoop this weekend, so I know you can use that. So we saw ups and downs all week. We went from rain suits to sun shirts and just sweating, to vests, to I think it's like 60 some degrees outside right now here on Sunday afternoon. The wind's whipping, the trees are flopping all over the place. We had some scattered showers kind of roll through the last couple days, depending where you were. Some people got hit, some people got missed, but generally speaking, the last couple days, it felt like fall, not just with temperatures only being in the 60s, but wind. I know on Wapagasset, where our cabin is, we had whitecaps.
Yeah.
It was super windy, wasn't it? We had a lot of wind. Right out of the north, it shifted. We had some rain kind of sprinkle through here and there. I'm not sure what happened here in the Twin Cities. To be honest, if we got any rain here in the Twin Cities, we just got back here this afternoon. But the week ahead, we're going to wake up tomorrow morning and it could be in the 40s. That's 10 degrees away from freezing. What do you think of that?
That's not good.
You want to run through the sprinklers? No. So we're going to have cold temperatures tonight. We're going to see probably some change in fishing patterns. We'll stay on the pulse this week. It's going to be a busy week all over the place. It's the last week of summer for most of these kids. We have summer kicking off, or school kicking off here a week from Tuesday. It's Labor Day weekend next week, and it's a holiday weekend. So there's a lot of things going on to kind of finalize summer. People are pretty excited to get after it one more week here, but middle of August, water temps, mid 70s. We saw 74, I would say, to 77 degrees consistently this week. So things weren't that overly warm, but they didn't really cool off a ton either. You were swimming, how'd the water feel?
It wasn't that cold. It was like, I think like
Felt
70?
good? Okay, she said it wasn't that cold. She went swimming on and off the last couple days. So let's talk fishing patterns. So this last week, a lot of good things going on, mostly fish Lake Minnetonka. And we caught a lot of our fish. This isn't the technique we caught them on. I just want to talk about something cool that's kind of evolving. But we caught a lot of our fish once again with a spinning rod in our hand. Now we caught some fish on Monday, Jack and I did, during the Denny's while teams were competing, flipping. I caught a nice fish on a chatterbait. But we had overcast skies, rain, moving baits, that kind of stuff tend to work. Now, as we moved into Tuesday, was once again the spinning rod. All of my trips, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, all of our better fish came on a spinning rod, Ned rigs, jig worms, drop shots. You love the Ned rig.
Yes.
In fact, that's probably tied on your rod right now, is a
I think so.
little chartreuse head and a green body.
Heck yeah.
That's your favorite?
Yeah.
Callie slays on that. That's a little Ned rig, what we've talked about. So that continues to be what we've caught fish on now. We'll see what happens this next week. But last week, the spinning rod got it done. We caught a few fish flipping still. I know there was some quality fish. Travis Frank won the Rapid Marine event we did on Wednesday. And I know he said he caught a bunch of his fish flipping. So some of that stuff's starting to really take shape. A lot's going to change here over the coming week. I'm really excited to come back at you a week from now. And then once again, as we get into September, to see what happens over the next couple of weeks. But what we saw and what we noticed was, once again, a lot of the fish were on that outside weed line. 8 to 15 feet was our bigger bites. 10 to 20 feet was a lot of fish. 8 to 15 was your bigger bites. So that little bit inside edge stuff. If you can find some harder bottom, that seems to be key. I'm not talking big rock. We've talked about this before. I'm talking gravel, hard bottom spots. If you can find some of those areas, that seems to be where your bigger fish are. And then continue to look at lake maps, find structure, points, saddles, humps, things like that. Look at structure and then pick it apart. That seems to be where a lot of our bigger fish are coming from. Not just wandering a long stretch of weed line. Now, it's a great way to go fishing, and you'll probably catch something, a bass, a pike, who knows. But it seems like they're keyed on more specific pieces of that weed line, inside turns, a bump out structure, something of that nature that catches our eye on a lake map, or even as we're running around, that'll oftentimes catch a fish's eye as well. So that's kind of what we're looking at here this week. Now, I wanted to show you something because we caught some fish on this.
Yes.
The secret's out again. We caught fish once again. We talked about this earlier in the year in May and June on just little minnow baits, right? And it's starting to happen again. We caught some fish at the cabin doing this. I bet you it's going to start to happen as our weeds start to lay down, the water temps start to lay down. So this is a pattern. We talked about tungsten jig heads, minnow bait jig heads, minnow pattern stuff, just little small offerings that a lot of the fish are feeding on, bait fish. You caught shiner minnows with your bare hands. And how big were they? They about that big?
Yeah.
They were about this big, little shiner minnows. She was catching them with her bare hands up against the bank as the sun was going down, and that's what these walleyes are feeding on. So we're trying to match the hatch. This is just a little silver smeltinator jig head. And I got a little Crush City Mare on the back of that. You can use a variety of different things. A little mooch minnow will work too, a little flirt, a little sassy shad, something of that nature. Smaller profile though, that's the thing. And I like that really erratic tail, right? It almost does its own thing. And that seems to work well. And we're just pitching this on a spinning rod. We're not overthinking it. Slow to moderate retrieve, maybe a couple hops and snaps, kind of imitating that bait fish. And we're fishing on a medium action spinning rod, maybe a medium light, 7 foot, 7.6, 7.2. We got our 15-pound braided line to our fluorocarbon leader, and we're just pitching it out there. And we're making sure it makes contact with the bottom and swimming this back. Now, at the game fair last weekend, we did a lot of conversation around this exact topic. Very easy, simple approach. We oftentimes overthink it. You can just cast and reel this in and catch a fish, can't you?
Yeah.
Is it hard to use? Not really. Pretty easy. So there you go. It's pretty simple. Cast and reel it in. This is going to be something that's probably going to be in our boat and in our arsenal now for the coming weeks. So the little minnow bait, I know we're not creating or reinventing the wheel. This is nothing mind-blowing or groundbreaking, but this pattern is starting to see its way back in as we start to see some of the weeds shift. And we're going to see this pattern continue to form and develop more and more in the coming weeks. So what are we going to do this week? Well, this week, number of things. We're going to focus on school.
Yes.
We got one more week of summer, so we're going to focus on some of that stuff. We're going to focus on probably a spinning rod bite, jig worm, Ned rig, drop shot, see what continues to go. We caught some quality fish doing that. Excuse me, we're going to continue to. We're going to evaluate and look at the flipping bite some more and punching bite and see if that is continuing to progress. The pike, all over the place, no problem. The muskies are starting to show themselves more and more. We saw more muskies this last week than we have in weeks. In fact, we had a really big muskie eat a bass, fought that for a while, let it go. We've had multiple muskies follow up to the boat. We had a muskie sighting right by the dock last night at the cabin, coming up and eating baits up shallower. So the activity level is starting to progress as our water temps drop and consistently stay down. So the muskie fishing is getting better, walleye fishing is getting better. Everything's starting to kind of shape up, and we're kind of in line for the last few days of August. Next time we come at you, August is pretty much done. So we come at you next week, and I think next Sunday is even August or September 1st. I got to look at that, but it might be the first next Sunday. So we might be looking at our last August day fishing report, but get after it, have some fun. We have some summer left. Continue to smile, continue to get after it, chase down some fish this week. The vest was on, feels good. You got your arms crossed in the hoodie and a pair of sweatpants, and it's Sunday afternoon. The sun is up, but it feels chilly. Honestly, feels kind of good, doesn't it? So what's your one tip that you saw the last couple days? What did you do in terms of fishing that you had the most fun at in the last couple days?
Probably trying to catch sunfish.
Catching sunfish off the dock.
Yeah, there's
Hey.
lots of them.
You caught a bass. Got some sunfish. You caught a rock bass this week, a nice one. You caught a big bass this week on Minnetonka. You caught some fish? All right, you ready for school? No. All right. Well, go out there, have a great rest of your August, and we'll get you next week. Be safe, have fun, and next weekend's Labor Day. It's going to be busy. Be respectful to each other. It's going to be busy. Just take a deep breath, and we'll all have fun, and hopefully catch a bunch of fish. So we'll catch you next week. Meeks to Beaks, thank you. See ya.